Hello again, I'm Ron Weiss and I am back to discuss my topic of college athletes and going pro. In the first video, I introduced two questions I wanted to address in this video. The first one was, what percent of athletes make it to the professional stage? The second question was, why do parents push their kids so hard in sports as a #1 goal rather than focusing on education? Let's take a closer look at the first question. 59% of high school football and basketball players believe they will get a college scholarship. 98 out of 100 high school athletes never play a collegiate sport at any level, club or a divisional sport. Less than 1 out of 100 high school athletes actually receive a scholarship to a D1 school, which is the highest level of athletics in a college and is the most likely to get looked at by a professional scout. 1 in 16,000 high school athletes attain a professional career in the sports world. I don't know about you, but these numbers so far definitely are not convincing me that my kid is the next Michael Jordan. Here is a chart that breaks these figures down even more. As you can see, 1 in 75, or 1.2%, of NCAA male seniors in basketball will get drafted by the NBA. 1 in 50, or 1.7%, of NCAA male seniors in football will get drafted by the NFL. 9 in 100, or 8.9%, of NCAA male seniors in baseball will get drafted by the MLB. 1 in 26, or 3.8%, of male seniors in hockey will get drafted by the NHL. As you can see, a male athlete has the best chance of becoming a professional in baseball or hockey. Even then, there is less than a 9% chance of an athlete going pro. After looking at these statistics, why do parents continue to think that their child is going to be part of that 1.2% of males that get drafted in the NBA? With those statistics in mind, let's take a look at the second question with more depth. Why do parents push their kids so hard in sports as a #1 goal rather than focusing on education? The reasons for this could be endless. Some of the main reasons are, 1, money. Everybody's obsessed with money and they want more of it. 2, their own competitive spirit. This means that maybe the parents could not make it, so they want their children to take the place of what they couldn't do in their own life in a sports world. The third one is to win. Parents want to win so bad they will push their own kids to win no matter what the cost is. This carries over to the teachers and coaches as well. There have been many cases where teachers and coaches will push grades and put education on the back burner over sports. Robert Willis, a superintendent at Minnesota and South Dakota schools, stated that coaches will try to influence teachers to pass kids or encourage teachers to change grades of failing kids. This is a clear example that sports is placed on a higher pedestal than education and valued more. ESPN ran an episode on scandals in college-level sports. Although that is a completely different topic, it complements my topic in a way. To give you a quick background on the scandals, coaches were changing grades of their top athletes so they were still eligible to play in the important games. Because of the players' coaches always changing grades, the players pretty much never went to class or learned anything going through school. After interviewing these athletes, people could easily see they could hardly put together a full sentence properly. Their coaches and parents cared more about getting the win rather than giving an athlete an education. This is a blatant example of parents and coaches putting athletics before a student academic career. Do not get me wrong, being involved in sports is a great thing, especially when growing up. I encourage kids to be involved in sports. Just have a limit. The athletes, as well as their parents, should strive in getting an education first, rather than hoping and wishing to be part of a very small 1.2% to go pro. Here is a commercial that proves my point even more, that athletes will be going pro in something other than sports.
There are 380,000 NCAA student athletes. And most of us will go pro
in something other than sports.
in something other than sports. To learn more, go to ncaa.org.
Even these top athletes made sure that they strived in getting an education as well as a scholarship in sports. Getting an education is an equal, if not greater achievement than focusing solely on sports. You can receive a high education and still make tons of money and be happy with your career and life. If you get an education, at least you have something to fall back on if sports does not work out for you. If you bank on sports being the only thing you will do in life, what happens if you get hurt or don't make it? Now you are stuck with nothing to fall back on. Please do not let anything that I'm saying scare you away from trying out in sports and giving everything that you have and striving to be the best, no matter what the situation. All that I'm asking is that you focus just as much, if not more, on education as well as getting a scholarship. Thank you. Now go get them.